Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, yeah. So warm welcome to one and all over here. I'm extremely delighted to have you all joining in this call in a hot Tuesday afternoon. And I'm so happy that we have Dr. Afra Iram with us. Should I start with? Dr. Afra Iram is a gold medalist, Ayurvedic surgeon, a researcher, and a speaker known for her dedication to innovative Ayurvedic surgical science and integrative healthcare. With She has won multiple national level awards, recognitions, including the famous Jivika Award, and she has a consistent record of academic excellence. She is a perfect representation of new generation of doctors, blending traditional wisdom with modern clinical approaches. In short, I would like to say she is a perfect example of beauty with brains. Welcome, Dr. Ifra. Very, very happy to have you over here, Afra.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sarah. That was such a humbling introduction. I'm deeply touched and humbled for that introduction. And I welcome everyone over here to join us despite your busy schedules. And I understand it's a very hot summer and you all are here joining us. And thank you, team, the organizing team, who have given me this amazing opportunity for today.
Yeah, without getting any late further, we'll start with the questionnaire. So, Afra, tell me about yourself and what inspired you to choose Ayurveda as a career.
Yeah, this question is something I get asked a lot, because why not MBBS is what everybody asks, right? So back, if I have to look into my life, my dad, okay, so he was the reason why I'm here. I can say that because back in those time, my dad was suffering from this severe allergic rhinitis, dust kind of allergy. So he used to have this severe bouts of sneezing and lots of allergic reactions with when he takes medications, or difficulty in breathing, and a lot of these difficulties were there. And he used to try all kinds of conventional medicines, but they used to give temporary relief at its best, but he wanted a permanent solution. So while searching, he stumbled upon some doctor, and he gave certain diet, lifestyle modifications along with certain medicines, and he recovered from that allergic rhinitis within a span of say about 2 to 3 months, and he was out of it, and he never has that complaint again so far. So alhamdulillah for that. But the thing is, at that moment when I was a young kid, very curious about how things work and everything, so I just checked on my dad, how come this went off? How are you so better with these medications, and who is this doctor, and what does he know that nobody knows, and how is he treating so well? So this was intriguing me then. And then it was told to me that he was an Ayurvedic doctor. So I was quite surprised, okay, there's something called as Ayurveda that exists. There is something called as an Ayurvedic doctor. So I was quite fascinated about it, and I was researching and reading about it. And yeah, then I joined my +1 and +2, and I forgot about it. Later, when I started, acing up for my NEET and stuff like that, and ranking up, and when we were up for counseling sessions, that's when all this healthcare diverse things were given to us. Like, you have so many options, like you have Unani, homeopathy, MBBS alongside. So I just checked on it, and I was like, oh wow, so they have a whole flushed curriculum for Ayurveda. That was something fascinating to me, and I wanted to study something that helped my dad recover from such allergic rhinitis, which was so stubborn. So I wanted to help the humanity to be of to overcome certain diseases which conventional medicine cannot be of help. So in that pursuit, I chose Ayurveda.
Wow,
and
that's
today Yeah, and today I am successfully practicing at an integrative healthcare center wherein I treat lots of patients, of whom most are women who are very happy to have a female doctor to treat them. Since I deal with anorectal conditions, and as you know, many women still think that it is a taboo and a thing of embarrassment to deal with. So I feel very privileged that I am able to help the females of our society.
That's
Wow.
great, actually.
What noble,
Yes.
very noble cause. Yeah, as you said, something which will completely give us a holistic approach. That is what really brought you into Ayurvedic. That's very nice to know. Okay, for people who are unfamiliar with a Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine, just let us brief us what basically a Ayurvedic doctor do.
Okay, so BAMS, like how we have MBBS, the BAMS stands for Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. So it is like a whole fledged curriculum, just like that of MBBS, wherein you have 4.5 years of study academically, and then you will be having 1 year of rotatory internship. So during this academic course, you'll be studying everything in detail, like human anatomy, physiology, pathology, just like how MBBS people study all these subjects. Alongside, we will be having our own samhitas, which will be written in Sanskrit, but it'll be translated and stuff like that. So you will be able to understand that along with modern parameters.
Okay,
So
that's
it's
nice.
like Ayurveda has its own philosophy. So all of these subjects that we study in modern medicine now are already there in our samhitas in the name of Sharira Rachana, Sharira Kriya, and everything. So it is very fascinating to know that the textbooks which have been written some 2500 or 3000 years ago have this knowledge in them. So it is still relevant today. So
Wow,
all of
that's
this
so nice.
yes, all of this is being studied for a period of 4.5 years, and then 1 year of rotatory internship in all, wherein the subject or the person is subjected to all kinds of OPD skills in all subjects. We have diagnostics, we have general medicine, we have general surgery. Of course, there are different names to it.
Okay.
So, yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. From the recent updates with Ayush, what we understand is any doctor who has practiced Ayurvedic can actually do surgery as well. So, what is this procedure? Can Ayurvedic doctors really become surgeons? Can they do surgery what a normal MBBS doctor can do?
Okay. So the thing is, Ayurvedic doctors can perform surgeries based upon what their state council is allowing them to do, legally allowing them to do. So that's the first thing. And for that, you will have to be a registered licensed practitioner. So for that, you will have to do a 3-year master's course. So that is, you will have to be studying your master's in surgery, that is in Shalya Tantra, which we say. That is what I have done. So you will have to do a 3 years wherein you will be given intensive clinical training under multiple doctors and multiple expertise, wherein you learn a lot of surgeries. After that, you will be given, yes, you'll be given your degree, that is a licensed registration will be done. And after that, you'll be able to perform surgeries. See, right now in Karnataka, say like 57 procedures are permissible for us. The thing is that we are not allowed to perform as many advanced surgeries as MBBS doctors is because they have been given more advanced surgical training than us. So our surgical training is very much rooted with traditional principles as well as modern relevance.
Okay.
So yes, if I tell you
training period and things like that, I think there is a little lag. Otherwise, everything is almost the same.
Yes, it is almost the same. And to your surprise, if I may tell you, the father of surgery is nothing but who wrote Sushruta Samhita. I mean, he is called the father of surgery. Yes, Acharya Sushruta is called the father of surgery, who has written Sushruta Samhita, and it is one of our main book that we study while we are studying Shalya Tantra, that is general surgery in Ayurveda. So he has written about 300 surgical procedures in his textbook and 120 surgical instruments, and also 60 types of methodologies, different types of methodologies wherein we can treat wounds, which all of it are relevant even today. So that is why he is given such high honor of stating that he is the father of surgery.
Wow. Now this is like loaded of information, so much of information which a common man
Actually,
never.
I was not knowing all these things, Dr. Afsar. Really, it was really insightful.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Thank
mean,
you
now
so much.
we'll have to
I mean,
think
there's
twice
more
before
to
going
it,
to
but
MBBS job. Yeah. No. Now I'm going to think twice before I go to MBBS doctor. I'll just think whether I can visit a BMS, I mean Ayurvedic doctor as well. That's very nice.
okay.
Okay. Coming to the real scenario, what is the step-by-step pathway after class 12, and why are parents still a little hindrant about taking up Ayurvedic doctor as a well-fledged
Yes.
career? Yeah.
Yes, important question.
So what is
Right.
backup?
Yeah. So
What is the
before
hiccup?
I go into the step-by-step process of how you can get into Ayurveda, I would like to address the main issue here as to why parents don't choose Ayurveda as a full-fledged career. It's because of societal pressure or the environment they live in. So in my home, they were quite open about it because they had experienced how Ayurveda heals them. So until and unless you experience how it heals you, you are, you never know about the importance or the depth of Ayurveda. So you never go for it. So and back in those time, even I was not aware that we have something called as Ayurveda. It is because it is not very prevalent. And during those times, the decline of Ayurveda was because, all the medications and everything would be kept very secretive. Because they wanted all the patients to come to them. So they used to keep it very secretive. And by their demise, all that knowledge would go away. So that's the reason why, since the Ayurveda was not globalized back then, we have this issue right now. And I think in healthcare system, it instead of MBBS versus BAMS or versus homeopathy or Unani, we all should work together towards the betterment of the society, wherein we give importance in serving the patient, in improving his health, no matter what integration is required. So I think integration is what is essential in today's world, more than what career you choose.
Very, very true.
Coming to the step.
True.
Thank you. So coming to the stepwise admission process in an Ayurvedic professional course. So you will have to do your +1 and +2 with physics, chemistry and biology as your majors. And after having done that, you will have to write NEET, as NEET is a mandatory process. After doing that, you will have to, get under the cutoff so that you get placed in very good colleges like BHU or NIA Jaipur and SDM, like those kind of colleges, like very reputed colleges of Ayurveda. So after having done that, you complete your 5.5 years of undergraduate course. And that's when, if you want, you'll see, like after your registration is done, you want to go up for higher studies or you want to choose practicing. So that's how it goes.
Oh.
Do we have enough number of colleges in India for Ayurvedic?
Yes, we do have. In Karnataka alone, I think there are more than 100 plus colleges. So there is quite a good amount of colleges.
That's a huge. Is that we are unaware of it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and
okay,
also
I have a few more
in.
Please.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you?
No.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, and also recently, even our finance minister has declared that there are many AIIMS colleges, All India Institute of Ayurveda, which will be collaborating with AIIMS, will be coming up soon. So that shows that, Ayurveda is slowly globalizing all over the world, post-COVID especially.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Over to Priyanka. She'll ask a few more questions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so it's really getting a very interesting conversation. No, many things actually I was not knowing. Uh, what are the
Okay.
best career opportunity after BAMS, including higher studies, like government jobs, private practice, and global scope?
Sure. Yeah. So the thing is, I always divide this into clinical careers and non-clinical careers.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go through the clinical careers, so if if when you have studied Ayurveda and if you feel like you want to be in close interaction with the patient, so that is one-on-one, right? One-on-one with the patient. So that means you choose clinical careers, wherein as soon as you graduate, you can have your own private clinic setup wherein you start your practice. Okay, so private clinic is the one. Second is you can join any wellness resorts, or there is a huge chunk of Ayurvedic conglomerates that are happening, like Ayur Central is there, Himalaya and Vaidya Ratnam. They have their centers all over India. So, and also internationally they are present. So you can join anywhere after having given an interview. And in government sectors, you can join in Ayurvedic dispensaries, then PHCs, in railway and army. So there are multiple options like that. And you can study further and specialize in something particular, and then decide if you want to practice in India or go abroad. If you're going abroad, like there is a great standard of market in Middle Eastern countries as well as in Germany, UK, Spain and Italy. So there you can practice more of panchakarma and stuff like that. You will be regarded as an alternative medical practitioner there, and you will have to clear certain entrance exams and you can practice there. In India, you can, after specialization, you can choose one particular disease and excel in it, because a jack of all trades is a master of none. I believe in that. So if you like pinpoint yourself to one particular disease and you excel in it, people from all over the world will come to you.
Yes.
So that is about the clinical careers. Yeah. And coming to the non-clinical careers, we have, teaching area, wherein after completing your masters, you can get into teaching field, and also you can build your content, medical writing or digital creation. You can start doing that. And thirdly, you can get into insurance and medical coding, which is very much relevant in Middle Eastern countries now. And also you can get into something called as research and academics, especially research. Nowadays, like they say, Ayurveda is not so scientific, but actually we have an entire peer-reviewed journal system that is supported by Indian Council of Medical Research. So, you can get into that and help in acing up the evidence-based Ayurveda, so that, it is more relevant and more acceptable to the society. And lastly, in non-clinical careers, you can get into R&D with many pharmaceutical companies such as Dabur, Himalaya, Patanjali, Zandu company, and Vaidya Ratnam. There are many. You can go ahead with that. So these are the most available paths that you can follow after your BMS.
So endless career options are there if you have the idea, if you are aware about it.
Yes.
Afra, what skill and mindset should a student have to succeed in this field, and what are the common myths students should ignore actually if they are looking for this field?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the last part.
What are the common myths students should ignore if they are looking for this field?
Okay, got that. Yes, myths. Okay. So coming to the first thing, like, if you have passion towards a holistic healing and you want to reach the root cause of the situation and try to have a long-term relationship with your patients and see them healing and becoming better, then you should come to this field. You will have that joy that I cannot explain. When you see a patient healing from your medications and you see that, those things that are told in those 2,500-year-old books are still relevant today, and you can see that in action, that joy is something tremendous. I can't explain it in words. So if you do not have passion, then I think it doesn't just work.
How it is? Yes.
Yeah, it's better.
Yes. So coming to the myths, the most common myth that the society has ended up with is BAMS is a backup plan for MBBS, which is actually not true. Many of them choose BAMS out of true love for Ayurveda, or out of, seeing the miracles that Ayurveda has done in their lives. So it is based on that. So and few people would have also chosen it as a backup plan for MBBS, but they will start falling in love with Ayurveda eventually when they start reading it. That's for sure.
Yes, there are many evidence also
second
for this.
Yes, absolutely. And the second myth is Ayurveda is very slow. So many of them, come to me and tell me that Ayurveda बहुत slow है ना, अभी modern medicine में जाएंगे, एक injection डालेंगे, ठीक हो जाएंगे. That is what the common myth is, but it's actually not. We also have immediate pain management techniques such as Viddha Karma, Agni Karma, and which is even long lasting. And the chances of recurrence is also quite less in it. And the side effects, there are 0 to, maybe say 1% in few cases, that's it. But, when practiced by an ethical Ayurvedic doctor instead of, a practitioner who is not well trained, then for sure you will see the results and it will be very quick and immediate. And third, whatever we see on the roads stating that Ayurvedic dawai hai, and even nowadays in digital platforms wherein they start saying this Ayurvedic medicine has helped me, you should always listen to a registered Ayurvedic practitioner and not somebody who who just gives up advice, because in Ayurveda every person is treated like an individual. There is no common medicine for everyone. So it is purely a customized treatment plan according to your own body constitution.
Yes.
So there is not like one size fits all kind of. So that's the third myth. And the fourth myth is there is no future. There is no future in Ayurveda. But I think I clearly mentioned to you, we have diverse clinical pathways and non-clinical pathways. So, we can go ahead with it. These are the most common myths that I think needed to be busted today.
Yes, definitely. So, what final advice would you give students who are confused between MBBS and BAMS and other healthcare careers?
See, never choose something based on societal pressure or based on your cutoff score. Always choose something which is very close to you and which you are passionate about, or which you really have a liking towards, because for the next 30-40 years you'll be into this field and you don't want to be sulking for it, like why did I choose this? You should not be doing that. You should be something that you're passionate about, so that you're happy to get up and go to work, instead of like, why do I have to get up?
Yes, this should not happen with anyone actually.
Yes, actually. So choose something that makes you happy.
There actually.
Yes.
No, this is exactly what we as career counselors actually tell people also. Just choose something which you are aligned for, which you are passionate about, because your next 30 to 40 years you're going to live with.
Yes, that's so true. So if you have more liking towards your holistic healing and seeing the body as a whole and treating the root cause of it, having a long-term relationship with the patient and stuff like that, then please go ahead with Ayurveda, wherein you give solutions and holistic healing is inclusive of it. But if you are, more of a emergency care taker, or you want to be into the trauma field, trauma surgeries, and all of these life-saving things, emergency drugs, then MBBS is your best choice. You can go ahead with that. Okay. So that is my take on it. And other practices, maybe if you have seen the miracle of it, then please go ahead, because it will always be your boosting energy whenever you feel low while you're studying.
Correct.
Yes, very, very true.
Yeah, that's
Truly,
about it. I think.
truly a wonderful interaction, Afra, and many things I was not
Thank you
knowing,
so
so
much.
I came to know now, and definitely it changed my approach to see that. So really,
Yes.
so thank you very much for this insightful session. No, yes, over to you, Saira.
Yeah, same here, Afra. I'm in love with you always, and I'm in love with Ayurvedic also as of now, because till now we're just thinking it's just an option, but now we could understand how the integration of medicine of different fields actually gives the complete holistic approach, and it's no lesser than MBBS in its own. So that's the complete message we want to give to our viewers and our kids who are going to take up any kind of medical careers, and this is equally good. So I think we have driven home the message, and it was lovely having
Yeah,
you
there
over
is
here,
no
Afra.
comparison actually. It depends on your passion only, no?
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. So it is its own medical system. It has its own pros and cons. Likewise for MBBS and other Unani homeopathy. I think we all should work together for the betterment of the society
Yes.
in whole.
True. And I think we have to work together to create more awareness about Ayurvedic as well, because we
Yes,
being in the field of
absolutely.
chiropractic, we didn't have much of idea about it, and after listening to you, we get so much of enlightenment. So I think we should be doing more of these kind of sessions elsewhere as well. So nice to have you.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Afra. I think we have taken enough of your
Truly
time and your
delighted to be
busy
a
day.
part of it.
Sure. Same here.
No worries.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Afra.
Have a good day ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. To all the viewers as well, have a good day and thank you.